This is the first lesson of graph component training. And in this lesson, we're going to build a graph of OE sales history by month. So let's get started. I've created a new project called Graph Component Training. So we're going to start off with a new component called Graph. This is called Lesson 1. And we're going to call this OE sales history by month. And that first lesson will be building the graph. OE sales history by month, building the graph, and this could go on a menu. So we have a bar graph here that we'll use. Now for the SQL, actually I'm going to go over to Query Analyzer here, or Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio 2005 to show you the SQL that I'm going to use. We're going to use the OE header hist WV view, and we need to get the month from the invoice date and the year from the invoice date as month as year. Now we have to do, I'm going to get both sales dollars and costs. I'm going to get that as total dollars and total cost right out of the header hist. But because Macola does not account for credits as negative, we have to do a case statement here to convert the credits to negative, and then the rest will be positive, and we'll do that for O, I's, and C's. So, and then we need to group that by month and year, and at least order it by month. So I'm just going to copy all this. I need to build that in advance, but I wanted to go over it. And we have some data in here for 2010. And so when it comes back, it's going to be month 1 through 12, year 2010. We're going to need to pass the year, and in queries and subsequent queries. And then we have the sales and costs. Next, we're going to get the year as a filter. We need to make that an integer field. Single value. We're going to call it year. It'll be preferences. So it'll be simply 2010. So nothing on buttons, but now we define the graph itself. Sales by year. Well, I guess we're going to call it sales by month. And then we have an x-axis title, which is going to be month. And the format's going to be general, and then dollars. And then we're going to format that as currency. Show, we don't need a constant line. We're not going to hide the legend, so we're not going to do anything with constants. We're going to add the ordinance. Call this sales. And the x-axis field you have to pick for each of these. It's a bar graph. Text. Don't show series label. I really like to usually ever do that. And then we need to add the cost. Again, same thing. This is a month. text, because we're going to put the year in and bring back everything from 2010, and then you'll see we'll plot the individual month. The legend text I needed to put in for sales and costs. And that's pretty much it. We're going to deal with link lists and buttons later. So let's go ahead and run this. We already have the year in here. And it comes back looking like this. Now, another thing we could do is on the graph, we have color schemes. So you can pick different kinds of color schemes. And you can see what it's going to look like over here. And now you can see we've changed the colors and made it look a little different to at least my preferences. And that's the end of this lesson. I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this video tutorial, and I encourage you to move on to the next video tutorial in this series.